Magpie Called Will is a book suitable for young children to the age of 12. Here are the first 2 chapters. A Magpie Called Will, Chapter 1. Michael lived near Joondalup, a suburb of Perth in Western Australia. When summer came, the days were very hot. Michael was lucky he had a swimming pool in the back garden and a tree to climb. Michael would climb into the big fat branches of the Norfolk pine. He felt very safe. It was a tall tree, and from up in the branches he could see into Mrs. McAllister's garden. He could see the road and the cars that drove past. He sat on 2 planks of wood and imagined he was a bird. One day when Michael climbed down from the tree, he left one of his sandwiches behind. "Thank you." Michael stopped and looked up. "Who said that?" At first he saw nothing. "I said thank you," the voice spoke again. Michael walked around the tree expecting to see someone hiding up there. He saw a large bird. Michael stared in amazement. Did the bird talk? "Close your mouth," said the bird. "You might catch a fly." "You can talk." Michael stared up at the bird. "So can you," replied the bird. "There's nothing special about that." "But birds aren't supposed to talk, are they?" Michael asked. "Why ever not?" The bird flew down to a lower branch and stared at Michael. "Mrs. Jones Budgie can talk, I suppose," Michael agreed, "but not the way you do. You talk like a real person." "I'm just as real as you are," the bird said crossly. "Don't you think I'm real?" "Oh yes, definitely. It's just that I've never spoken to a bird before, at least not one that can talk back." "Humans are pretty silly," the bird said. "They do some silly things. I know because I watch them all day." "No, they're not. Humans are very clever," Michael argued. "You can't drive a car, can you?" "Ah, but if you could fly like me, you wouldn't need a car, would you?" "No, I suppose not," Michael had to agree. "But you couldn't build a house like this one, could you?" The bird laughed and tipped his head on one side as he looked at the house. 4 trees could stand where that house is," said the bird sadly. 4 trees would be homes for hundreds of us. How many people live in that house?" "My mum, me and a goldfish," said Michael. "A bit of a waste, isn't it?" asked the bird. "Well, we can't live in trees like you," Michael explained. "Why ever not?" asked the bird. "Because we'd fall out when we went to sleep," Michael said. "And besides, where would we put the television set?" Just then Michael's mum called from the back door. "Come in and wash your hands," she said. "We're going shopping." "Off you go," said the bird. "I'll still be here when you come back." "What sort of bird are you?" Michael asked. "A magpie, of course." The bird puffed out his chest. "The smartest bird in the world." Michael decided not to tell his mother about the bird, at least not just yet. "Can we go to the library?" he asked her. "What on earth for?" she said, sounding surprised. "I want to find a book about magpies," Michael explained. His mother was pleased to hear this. It would give him something to do in the holidays. Before they went to the supermarket, they drove to the library and parked in the car park underneath the building. It was cooler under there. Inside the library, Michael's mum knew exactly where to look, and it didn't take long to find the books they were looking for. She had a special member's card that allowed her to take the books home with them. Chapter 2. When they got back from shopping, Michael went out to the Norfolk pine. He climbed up onto its big branches. He liked the way the branches grew out from the big trunk. There were lots of places to climb, but he sat on the planks of wood and opened the library book. He began to read the first page. "What have you got there?" a voice asked. It was a magpie. Perched on a higher branch, the bird could see over Michael's shoulder. "It's a book about you," said Michael. "Oh, no, it's not," said the bird. "You won't find books about me unless you look in the ancient history section at the library." Ancient history? Michael asked. That's about things that happened hundreds of years ago, even before my mum was born. I'm much older than your mum, the bird laughed. Yes, much, much older. How old are you then? Michael closed the book and looked up at the magpie. Have you ever heard of Merlin? Asked the bird. No, Michael replied. King Arthur? Asked the bird. No, sorry. You don't know very much, do you? The bird sounded a bit annoyed. I'm only 8, Michael explained. I'm just starting to learn things. Next time you go to the library, go to the Myths and Legends section in the row that has the number J398. Just turn right when you walk in and you'll find it on the left. Michael wondered how the magpie could possibly know that, but thought it best not to ask. He didn't want to annoy the bird again. Look for books on Merlin and King Arthur. Try to find out about Merlin's apprentice, the bird told him. What's an apprentice? Michael wanted to know. Someone who wants to learn all about something from an expert, usually a young person, someone like you, the bird said. At breakfast next day, Michael asked, Can I go to the library again? His mother poured milk into the bowl of cornflakes and looked surprised. Again? You went yesterday. Yes, but now I want to find another book, Michael told her. More magpies? His mother smiled. She was pleased to see Michael reading. She knew how important it was to read. That was how she got to be so smart. No, not this time. I want to read about Merlin and King Arthur. Michael's mum sat down on the other side of the table. She didn't think that Michael had ever heard of Merlin or King Arthur. Who told you about them? They were my favourite part of history. Sir Lancelot and the Round Table. Who? Michael asked. We'll have to find you some books. Perhaps some with pictures, his mum said.